Sebastian. Come on, let's hear it, ladies and gentlemen. The very fabulous comedy star of the Aztec. Come on. Mr. Don Sebastian.
Oh, thank you. I had a guy come up one night and tell me the worst joke I ever heard in my life. You'll be the judge of it. This is the worst joke you'll ever hear. Listen to this. 6 guys carrying a casket out of a church in New York. Ice on the ground is thick. Now, you picture this? Eh? One of the pallbearers slips on the ice. The casket gets away from the other 5. Slides down the icy driveway. It's a winner. Cross a busy intersection. Down 2 whole city blocks. Jumps the curb, goes right through a drugstore window. Comes to rest right in front of the pharmacist's counter. The lid opens up and the stiff sits up. The pharmacist says, "What can I do for you?" "Wait, are you ready? Listen to this." He says, "Give me something to stop this coughing." Terrible joke, terrible. The worst joke I ever heard. Oh, I got a couple of beautiful new ones. Here's Cary Grant. I'm from Brooklyn. It's Gary Grant. You know. That's what it is. Cary Grant goes to the restaurant with his friend. Now he goes into the men's room. When he comes out, the front of his pants are wet. His friend says, "What the hell's the matter with you?" "What do you mean?" He says, "Every time you go to the men's room, the front of your pants are all wet." "What do you got, weak kidneys or something?" "Oh," he says, "no." He says, "I was in the men's room. There was a guy next to me. He looked up and he turned around and he says, 'Hey, you're Cary Grant.'" I tell you these stories. I gotta tell you this one. Now, look, here's another one. He didn't get it. And the group I got tonight. There's a lot of people in this world. I was just told this joke, okay? I always like to talk about a joke before I do it, give it a little realism, A lot of people like to go sunbathing. They go to nudist colonies, and they undress, And I'll tell you the truth, it costs money to go to a nudist colony. You just don't undress for free over there, Well, here's a guy, he loves to bathe in the sun with no clothes on, but he can't afford to join a nudist colony. So he comes up with an idea. He says, "I get up 5 o'clock in the morning before everybody else. I go down to the beach, undress, keep my clothes nearby. Somebody comes, boom, get dressed." Right? Well, he gets out there 5 o'clock in the morning. He's tiptoeing through the tulips, He's really banging away, But he got so enthused in what he was doing, he got away from his clothes. And who comes up on the beach? 2 old ladies with their canes, soaking their feet in the water, What could he do? He said, "I'll bury myself." He couldn't get to his clothes on time, so he buries himself. Unfortunately, he couldn't bury everything. You know what I mean, right? Well, one of the old ladies came by and got the cane and hit the damn thing. The other one says, "What the hell did you do that for?" She said, "When I was young, I couldn't find any. Now they're growing wild." Too much. Love it. People give me these stories, Here's another one, a beautiful one. A very prominent judge from a small town. They give him an award for being a good, the Good Citizen of the Year award. And this guy truly was. He never drank, never smoked. He was a good man, And never drank. Can you imagine what happened? They toasted to him 4 or 5 times. Before you know it, he was bombed. What could he do, He goes home, he falls out of the cab. The cop on the beat comes over and spots him, this very prominent judge. So he's playing it cool. He says, "Let me give you a hand, Judge. Did you fall down or something?" As he picks him up, the judge throws up all over the front of his shirt. Throws all over himself, too. Now, after doing this, he's sobering up a little bit. He says, "Look, officer, please, don't mention this to anyone, please, He gets into the house, tiptoeing, and the light goes on. The old lady wakes up. She says, what happened to you? He's got to think fast. Well, he says, I was getting out of the cab, and a drunk stumbled and hit me and threw up all over me, and I had the officer arrest him, Officer Clancy, and tomorrow when he comes up before me in court, he will receive 30 days for this. The next morning in court, there's a phone call. The judge's wife. She says, honey, did you get that prisoner arrived before you got the drunk that threw up all over you? He says, no, but when he does, be sure to know that I'll give him 30 days. Well, she said, you better give him 60 days because he's shitting your pants, too. Gotta watch them guys. Oh, we got a bunch of other ones. These are all jokes that people come up and tell you. I like the cute one about the two guys talking. One guy says, do you see it? He says, what? He says, you mean you don't see it? He says, what? It's the hearing aid. $2,500, you can hear a pin drop. Guy says, yeah? What kind is it? He says, 730. Well, how about the guy 80 years old? Guy 80 years old goes to a house of ill repute, a warehouse, you know. Rings the bell, a woman comes out, says, what do you want? He says, I'd like to have a young girl. She says, go on, old man, you had it. He says, really? How much do I owe you? Not having too much luck there, he goes next door. There's another place, you know. Rings the bell, the woman comes out, says, what do you want? He says, I'd like to have a girl. She says, how old are you? He says, 80 years old. Well, she says, that'll be $1 a year, cost you $80. He says, you're putting me on. She says, that's another $10. And of course, we got so many children's stories people come up to, like the little girl and the little boy in the bathtub. The little girl said, what's that? The little boy said, I don't know, it just grew there. Boy, she says, you're lucky it didn't grow on your face. How are you laughing? It was a wart. The kid had a little wart. Or how about the kid that walks in and catches his mother and father? Says, Daddy, what are you doing? The old man know what the tongue. I'm putting a tiger in a tank. Kid said, that's funny. The milkman filled it up this morning. Gotta watch them little kids, you know. Now, here's a story that's been kicking around for quite a while, but it's still a great story, you know? And I always say this. We seem to forget when we were young. You know, we remember when our fathers used to beat us and hit us, but, yeah, we deserved it, I guess. I don't know, you know? My old man never spoke to me nice, you know? Go to the store! God forbid you moved, he killed you. You know how many times I went to the store, didn't know what the hell I was going for? I was too scared to ask him. I used to run around the block, make believe I was lost. Hey, my father was the boss of the house. You think I'm kidding you? When this guy wanted sex, 7:30, we're all going to bed. I don't care who's not tired. We're going to bed. I tried it with my wife. She says, go ahead, go. I'm not in 10 minutes, start alone. They all got excuses, you know. Don't bother me, I'm tired. Who the hell asked you to move? You never did before, and if you did, I wouldn't recognize you. You're laughing. One day my wife moved, I thought I woke her. I have a headache. What the hell's that got to do with it? You aren't even close to what I'm thinking about. My back hurts. Now you're getting close. You had it last week. What is this, a bowling tournament? I gotta keep score. Not now, it's daylight. Close your eyes. I don't ask you to look. I don't look myself. I can't stand the sight of the damn thing. Not now, the dog is looking. Who's he gonna tell her? Not a dog? Ridiculous. Is there a man in the world who hasn't heard this one? Oh, you have a pain in the ass. Kind of, but do it right. Huh? I had a guy the other night, he says to me, maybe you're not doing it right. Why don't you do it like you used to do it? I said, don't be stupid. My wife's not going to get in the car. Some guys don't think, you know. Well, he says, maybe you're not romantic. Isn't that a hell of a thing to tell me I'm not romantic? You know, like the other night, I'm feeling pretty good, you know. I took a roll of Tums. 2 Alka-Seltzers, you know. I grabbed her, I bit her on the neck, and said, come here, baby, right? She says, hurry up, I gotta get up early tomorrow. Another 2 minutes is gonna kill her. And what do you say to a woman when she gives you this? Oh, all right. All right. Ma ha fatto un cazzo di piacere. All right. Then she says, move your head, I can't see the television. Hey, how the heck did we ever get off on this subject? We're talking about when we were kids. And this is true, you know. When you think about it, when we were kids, we had nothing. You know, I can remember those days. I used to buy 2 Mary Janes for a penny, right? Today you can't get one for $20. Half $100. They don't even stay on like that. I mean, we had nothing. We used to play games like tag, you're it, right? Ring-a-ling-a-leave-yo, huh? Kick in the can. You think my son, the Count of Monte Cristo, would go in a garbage can? Not the big shot, I'll tell you that there. And we used to play games like Johnny on a Pony, huh? I used to play that with the girls. I never jumped a boy in my life. To play stickball, take your mother's broom, cut the handle off, huh? 15 years, my mother never knew brooms came long. Just to sweep the floor. One day for Mother's Day, I bought her a whole broom. She didn't even know what the hell to do with it. She went down the cellar, cut the handle off herself. We were different kind of kids. Not like today, these kids, I'm telling you, some of them have got no respect. But how could a father deal with these kids? Look at me, I'm 5'8.5". My son is 6'2". What did I do wrong? Did I stay on too long? What? That's my son Duncan, the yo-yo. Got a scholarship playing basketball for the University of Syracuse. People say you should be proud. He saved you $12,000. It cost me $14,000 in phone calls. He don't know nothing but reverse the charger. Happy Father's Day, $41. I can't wait for that holiday. Another time he called me, send me $20. I need it for a pair of warm-up pants. I said, I'm going to send you $40. Get a pair for your mother. And they answer you back today. I can remember we were kids. You didn't dare answer an older person back. One night, for example, one day we're playing ball in front of the shoemaker shop in Brooklyn. The old Italian guy, Mr. Catalano, used to come out. Get out of here, you son of a bitch, you kid, you. A poco di cornute farabutte siete. That's your bestia cornute. All nice words in Italian. Well, it happened one day. The ball finally went into the store. He comes out with the ball and a knife. He says, I told you, not play under my store. Cuts the ball in half. A real ball cutter, you know the kind. And that was a 5-cent high bouncer, you know. What do you think we did? You think we beat this guy up? No, we used our heads. No violence, no disrespect. Hate him quietly. And cunningness. We went to the empty lots, got the shoes that people threw away. Took them in to have them fixed. 200 pairs. Soles and heels with taps. 2 years he worked for nothing. That's the way to get even with this guy. So therefore, you see, it proves we were different kind of kids. We used to be able to exist on little. Today, the kids want to go to a movie, $2 to go to a movie. And so it was that this kid walked into the house, and he says to his mother, he said, Ma, give me $2, I want to go to a movie. The mother said, what the hell do you think this is? All you do is gimme. What is it with you kids? Why don't you go earn your money like we used to do when we were kids? He said, but Mom, we live in the country. What am I going to do? She'll tell you what to do. I'll tell you. Get the turkey out of the yard. Go sell the turkey and don't bother me no more. Kid gets the bird. He goes into town. Comes to the first house, knocks to the door. The door opens wide. You know how kids out today, they're inquisitive. He walks inside. He's looking around. He goes into the bedroom. There's this couple doing calisthenics. You know what I mean? They're helping each other up and down. You know? The kid taps the guy in the back and says, hey, Mitty, you want to buy a turkey? The guy says, get out of here. Hey, Mitty, will you get out of here, kid? Just then outside you hear a car pull up, you hear a voice say, honey, I'm home. The guy grabs the kid, grabs the turkey. Into the closet they go. Picture this guy in the shorts, pants over his arm, the kid with the turkey. The kid says, hey, mister. Hey, mister, will you shut up? Want to buy a turkey? No. I'll scream. Shh, okay. How much? $200. $200? I'll scream. Give me the damn thing. A few minutes later, kid says, hey, mister, want to sell that turkey? It's okay, give my money back. No, I'll buy it for $1. $1 I paid $200. I'll scream. Give me the damn $1. 2 hours later, this kid's got $408 in cash. $2,000 in IOUs. And the turkey. Outside, you hear a voice say, well, I'll see you later, honey. Out the door goes the guy. Right behind him goes the kid. Can't wait to go home and show his mother. Ma, look at the money I made. The mother said, that's a sin what you did. A sin. I want you to go to church and confess your sins right now. The kid goes in the confessional booth and says, water. I was trying to sell this turkey. Just then the little door opens up. The priest says, if I hear another word about that damn turkey, get out of here. Out, kid, get out. There they are. They're looking for the Catholic Church Sunday morning after being out all night. They ran across the Mount Sinai Hospital. In their condition, anything looks like anything. Pat looks up, he says, this must be the Catholic Church. Mike says, I don't think so. He says, come on, let's go inside and find out. Now, just the sight of these two guys staggering up the front steps, so petrified this nurse, she remained frozen to the spot with a bedpan in her hand. Pat says, see, I told you it's the Catholic Church. There's the Holy Walk. He reaches in and starts to give it this. Oh, he says, you're right, Mike. I don't think it's the Catholic Church. I think it's Episcopalian. Oh, yes. My favorite Irish story. Pat walks into the diner, 3 o'clock in the morning, feeling no pain. Walks up and says to the waitress, let me have 2 scrambled eggs. And the waitress yells, 2 eggs scrambled! The chef says, what are you taking an order now for? We're going to close up any minute. Besides, I don't have 2 eggs. All I got is 1 egg. Well, she's just throwing anything. The guy don't know, and he's bombed. He said, what the hell am I going to throw in? Well, I got some Limburger cheese left over. Well, she's just throwing the Limburger. It's Pat. He's bombed. He don't know. Well, they make this guy the omelet, and now he's got to eat. He pays the check. He walks up to the waitress. He says, oh, God. Hey, lady. Where the hell do you get your eggs from? Oh, she says, we have a hen house out back. She's putting them on, you know. Oh, he says, do you now? He says, and do you have a rooster? She says, no, why? Well, he says, you better get one, 'cause there's a skunk screwing your chickens. Did I tell you? We were different kind of kids. We were really different kind of kids, huh? Who the hell ever had what my kids have got today? My kids have got a swimming pool. I had a fire hydrant that was good enough for me. To jump 40 feet in the air when they turned it on. Now, what I want to tell you is the kids are so different today. Like my children, they got a fire, they got the swimming pool. Now, you say to yourself, by the way, notice how quiet it always gets when I say I got a swimming pool. People say, he must have money. What money I got to have? I got no money. My house cost me $18,900. You understand? The payment's $158 a month. $6 is equity, the rest is interest. So who really owns the house? The bank. I keep it nice for them in case they want a nice house back. It's their house. You know what it costs to fill that pool up, huh? $35 city water. $35, and every time a kid dives in, half a buck goes over the side. Boy, I don't let no fat kids in my pool, I'll tell you that. And then you become the neighborhood lifeguard. All the kids hang around your leg. Can I go swimming in your pool? And little guys, and suddenly the water gets warm around you, you know. I tell you something, I'm from Brooklyn, New York. What do I know about pools, you know? We're swimming around. The next day I get up, I look in the pool, it's green. What the hell happened over here? I said to my wife, what are we going to do? She says, well, the man that sold us the house told me that you got to put chemicals in the pool. What the hell do I know what chemicals? Well, there's a guy across the street. He's got a pool. Go over there and ask him. So I introduced myself to the guy. This guy's from Georgia. Me get what trouble we got now. He don't understand me. I don't understand him. You ever see how they talk, them guys? I'm from New York. I'm in a hurry. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm in a hurry. I go in a restaurant. I said, give me the check, then I order. You ever eat in a restaurant in Georgia, huh? The waitress will rush over to your table. Y'all want to eat? No, I came here for the rally. Y'all want a menu? No, I guess. I ate out once before. Give me 2 eggs over lightly. Y'all want grits? Yeah, bring the farina. Marmalade? Look, I don't care what she does for a living, honey. I'm going to get out of here. I'll never understand how the slowest people in the world have got the fastest state troopers. Hey. All right, Yankee, pull over the car, boy. You're in trouble, boy. I said I don't want to buy a Dodge. Well, I'm talking to this guy, and this guy starts to tell me about the chemicals in the pool. The hell do I know his pool is empty? He don't know nothing. I'm putting the chemicals in the pool. Next thing you know, I'm getting black dots and brown stains in the bottom of my pool. I'm diving in with the wire brush trying to get them out. I'm getting the bends of my own pool. You hear this? Finally, I says, hey, I better find out what's going on. So I go and I look at the yellow pages on the pool maintenance. I find the place on Las Olas Boulevard. Now, if there's anyone here from Florida who lives here, you know I'm telling the truth. This is the 5th Avenue of Florida. That's all right, Las Olas Boulevard. I go there with the torn underwear and the dungarees. I know I don't belong there once I see it, but I says, hey, I'm here. I'm going there. So I open the door and I go in. This guy meets me at the door like he's smelling something. So I looked at my shoes. I said, it's not on mine, buddy. It might be on yours. Take a look. No, it's not there either. Well, I don't know where it's coming from. I really don't. I noticed they're digging down the street. He said, what can I do for you, sir? I said, well, I got black dots and brown stains in the bottom of my pool. He said, you have algae and fungi in your pool. I said, you're full of shit. I don't even know them kids, you know. You ain't laughing. I know all the kids on the block. I don't know these guys, you know. He says to me, obviously, you've never had a pool before. I said, so what? You never had a toilet in the hall? He says, sir, bring me a gallon of your water and I will analyze it. I should be about a week. You're laughing. What do you think, I'm Superman or something? You know how much water you gotta drink, kid? He says, I meant from your pool, sir. I said, okay, so I run home, I peed in the pool and brought him the water. I figure that's the way he gets his jollies. Great, Now he starts to analyze with the test tubes, And when these guys get fancy in Florida, they're going to grab you by the fungi, I said, okay, what is it? He says, sir, you have a very sick pool. Oh, I said, I'm sorry to hear this. He says, for $15.85, I can make it well. I said, for $15.85, let it die. I said, what's the matter with the pool? He said, according to our analysis, your pool is lacking in calcium. Who the hell ever heard of that? I only thought that happened to pregnant women, I never knocked up a pool before. He said, not only that, you have a lot of iron in your water. Well, I knew that already because you can feel it under your arms when you're swimming. So he said, sir, I'm sure if I show you our plan, I want to know something? This bum showed me all the stuff. I walked out there with 10 bags of chemicals. The hell do I need all these things for? I'm getting up every hour on the hour. I'm throwing the bags in the pool. 4:30 in the morning, I get up to throw the last bag in the pool. I don't get up 4:30 in the morning to go to the toilet. I hang out to 7:30. But for the sick pool, I'm up throwing the bag, right? You know what the last bag had? 17.5 pounds of bicarbonate of soda. Now, nobody can swim in the pool. They dive in, they belch, they fall out. And still, my kids, with all the things they got, say the same thing. I got nothing to do. You got nothing to do, eh? I like to give a rap in a mouth, I swear. I wish I could be like my father. And my mother was another one. My mother disciplined you, she'd hit you no matter where you were. She'd reach out, eyeballs, nose, ear, mouth. No matter where it landed, you got it, right? Today, my wife's a very modern wife. She reads books like psychology. Don't hit him, you hurt his little brain. I'm hitting him in the ass. What's that got to do with his brain? Don't lie to your children, you leave scars in the subconscious mind. Your mother and my mother was worried about the subconscious mind. My mother wanted me unconscious, not subconscious. As for lying, my mother was the champion of the world. She'd stand behind the door, look you right in the eye, she'd say to you, come on in, I ain't gonna hit you. I ain't gonna hit you. Say, Ma, you're mad. I'm not mad! Get in there! Little bastard. Beat the hell out of you, huh? Kick you and punch you, and she say, wait till your father comes home. What is he gonna do, bandage you up, right? Remember your father, the guy that's working all day because you were born? And he don't like it too good already. My father's comes in at 4:30. Italian fathers are all born with hats. Comes in the door. My mother says, right away, they don't forget. You know what your son did today? My father don't hit you right away, he gives you the look. 2.5 hours. Before you know it, I'm going. I'm saying to myself, let him look. Eyeballs don't hurt. Don't worry, he's going to hit you. You know when? When you're eating. Why should you enjoy anything? I remember those days up north in the cold weather, you came in out of the cold weather, had a bowl of hot soup. And the cold weather and the hot soup used to make your nose run. Eh? Boy, there was nothing better than soup and the old man would reach out across the table. Ba-da-boom! What'd you do today? That's what I like, a fair trial. He used to do things like that all the time. Like one time he punched me in the mouth. He said, go ahead, eat. Another time he took off his shoe, hit me in the head. He said, don't cry. I didn't cry. I was unconscious. How can I cry? But I learned one thing. I learned that when you got your own kids and you hit your kids, it hurts in the heart. Why? Because you love your children, right? You'll never believe how much my father used to love me. I couldn't take the love this man had for me. Beat me up all week, take me to church to confess on Saturday. The hell was I going to confess? I didn't kill nobody this week. You've been doing all the beating up. I was 9 years old when I went to confession the first time. Can you imagine that scene? In that dark booth by yourself with the drape across, no light. You walk in, the voice says, yes. Is that you, God? Now you're laughing. There's room for two in there. You know, it took me 2.5 months to find out there was a guy on the other side. And while I'm talking, he's going... I said, what the hell's he talking about? He's talking about me. I want to know, right? So I stuck my ear to the wall. What do you think he's saying? Oh, that pain in the ass here again. Same bullshit every weekend. Well, I hope the kid with the turkey don't show up. People don't realize we're all the same. There's no difference in people, you know that? There really is no difference. Isn't it true that your mother wanted you to marry in your group? My mother wanted me to marry an Italian girl, certainly. And if you're Jewish, your mother wants you to marry a Jewish girl. And if you're Polish, the same thing, or Irish, whatever you are. But I told my mother, it's America, a democracy. I marry who I score. You didn't score so easy in those days, Jimmy. In those days, you know, the big thrill was you hold her hand going home. And you gave her a kiss in the hall. That was it. You know. You kissed, he said, oh, I'm pregnant. Oh, shut up, Dummy. They didn't know, these girls. What is it like today? They walk around with them short pants, the hot pants. I had that 20 years ago. My wife didn't know I had them, but I had them. Well, if the girls would have dressed like that 20 years ago, I never made 25. I would have went with John Garfield together. But I'm not kidding when I tell you something. In the old days, there was a different attitude about things. You could never go out with a girl, regardless of nationality, just by meeting her on the corner. Occasionally, you met a girl who would let you. But most of the times, you had to come home and the parents had to see you. You came to the house and the old man looked you over. And, buddy, I want you to know, if he didn't like you, you didn't go out with the girl again. Maybe tonight. Am I right? They were very strict in those days. Italian fathers, however, they're really pain in the asses. My father's Italian, but I tell you, he drives you crazy. You know something? You can't go out with an Italian girl. You got to go to the house and ask permission from the father. Can I go out with your daughter? No. You come to the house Sunday. You eat with us. I wanted to go out with her. I got a date with him. Then he brings out the homemade Italian wine, 3 glasses of which you confess to anything. And he starts to ask you the questions. You got a job? How long you working there? You got money in the bank? What am I going for, a loan? I want to go with the broad. What is it with this guy? And then you got to watch out because there's a sneaky question coming up. You like to come back to eat again next week, huh? You say, yes, good. Bring your mom and a pop. You sign the contract, kid. You're getting married. From the minute your mother and father walk through that door with a box of cannolis in their hands. That's an Italian pastry, 6 inches long, round, stuffed with rich cream. 35 cents a piece. We never have it in our home. When we go visiting, but we bring a dozen. We show them we're big shots. We throw money around. And they take the cannolis, they put them in the refrigerator, and they don't come out again. When you leave, they eat the cannolis. That means to the health whoever brought them. Tongue in cheek. I never forget, I tell you something. I never forget my mother's first words when she found out I was going out with a girl who was not Italian. Oh, it didn't matter what she was. But you know what? It's got nothing to do with that. I got to explain to people, otherwise you're liable to think my mother's prejudiced. No. Italian mothers don't want their sons to go out with nobody. Because God forbid they get married, they lose an envelope. Oh, yes. Every Friday night you got to come home. Friday night you come home, bring the envelope, your mother takes out $2. No matter if you make $2,000 a week, you get $2. That's for the car fare, for the lunch, clothes, and go out and have a good time. I said, well, Mom, what about the rest of the money? When you meet a nice girl, you get all the back. Huh? Is there a girl in the world that's that nice? You're not going to get the money back, because my father made the wine with the money. And I'm the only one not allowed to go in the cellar. Once in a while, he give me the key in the gallon. He'd say, "Quando sale, we go alone in." He said, "Go down and get me a gallon of wine, but I want to hear you whistling." As long as you're whistling, you can't drink. I used to bring my friend Charlie. I said, "Charlie, whistle." That's all it was. Yeah, I want you to know I tied this girl. I met her in the Catskill Mountains. Most beautiful girl, gorgeous girl. I was about 18. And my mother found out right away. You know, Italian mothers, the opening line is always, "Questa puttana." Yeah, translator, who's that prostitute? But in Italian, it doesn't sound as vicious. Bring it to the house, I want to see the skirt. how can I bring this girl to my house? You know where I live in Brooklyn? A highly residential area. Flushing Avenue. Right? Very classy neighborhood. 3 garbage cans in front of the door, 2,000 flies circling overhead, and the kids playing ball on the street yelling, "Try that ball, you mother!" This girl lived in the Bronx, on Bronx River Avenue, which at that time was a very beautiful neighborhood. Grass in front, maybe still, I don't know. Grass in front of the door. Who the hell ever saw grass in Brooklyn? And the cracks in the sidewalk here and there. Quattro fila carda, you know. The same thing, yeah. She had trees in the yard, oak trees, cherry trees, apple trees. What the hell did I have in my yard? 1 fig tree for the whole block. Which we never used to see because always covered in carpet. With a pail on top. 2.5 months out of the year, they used to let that poor thing out. And every time the guy with the horse and wagon came by and the horse with a, you know. I said, get the shovel and put on the fig tree. Hurry up. Put on the shovel. I swear them figs never tasted right to me. When I broke the news to the girl and I told her, I said, remember one thing, my mother's going to give us a lot of opposition. Whatever she says, just say, agree with her. Say, We get to the house, walk up 3 flights of stairs into my cold water flat in Brooklyn on Flushing Avenue. We opened the door right in the kitchen. There's Mama making the meatballs. It's early Sunday morning, 11:30. She said, come in, the nice girl, sit down. Son must be in the wrong house. Can't be my mother talking that nice, you know. She said, Donnie, you sit down and call to your father. My father was in the yard, 3 floors below, with the basilico plants. Translation, the basilico is basil. Every Italian father, he raises basil, right? I think it's Italian pot. Because they always got it behind the rear. They go, bless. They get stoned on basil, I tell you this. And if an Italian father is not raising basil, what else is he doing? Concreting the whole world. That's his second hobby. I always tell a true story about my father. Let me digress for a minute. My father, we had a friend of ours in Massapequa who called up my father, this guy Harry, you know. He said, Pete, come over. He says, how much would it charge me to estimate the job for the concrete patio? Now, Italian fathers on their day off, even though they concrete all week, on their day off, they don't charge. He said, well, get your order. What does it take? 4 baghi di cemento, 4 bags of cement, un gallone di vino, a gallon of wine. We get the job done, right? Saturday morning, they come over, 5 guys, 8 o'clock in the morning. Even though they're working for nothing, they're on time. Always that way. Now, of course, Harry now, what is he going to do? He knows they're coming, he can't just give the gallon of wine. He starts to buy all these imported cold cuts, because they were eating domestic. He's a Genoa salami, o brisutta, o gabagol, all the Italian spicy foods, you know, and all kinds of cheeses and stuff. He's in a hole for $40 for the same, but he figures he's got a bargain going, you know. Well, 4 gallons later, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, some guy says, get the cards. And they start to play a scuba. It's a game, sweep, they call it, right? Well, it's getting dark. And Harry walks over to my father and says, hey, look, ma lo cemento quando sarà a fare? When are we going to start with the cement? A settimana che trasa. The next week that comes in, facciamo il cemento. Says, we do the cement. Get you all, that bag of cemento, what gallone di vino. 4 gallons of wine, now they got the 1 bag of cement. They get the job done, right? 5 weeks later, they're still doing the bit. What you make of the cemento, un gallone di vino. And Harry Bob was in a hole for about $4,000. That's the way they love to work, you know. Now you go back to this Sunday morning, there's my father in the yard with the basil plants, and from the 3rd floor, my mother yells down, oh, hey! You know that for years I never knew their real names? I used to think my last name was son of a bitch. If I say Dan, son of a bitch, been a call. Come here. Of course, Papa stopped in the cellar, got the gallon of wine, came upstairs, walked into the kitchen door with the Perotti cigars in the mouth. Little tiny cigars, you see, look like something you find on the lawn in the morning. I've known people who wouldn't talk during the war in Italy. They used these here, and they spoke. Locked in a room with a gun smoking, man, you gotta die. The old man walks in, he says, hello. That's his entire English vocabulary now. We sat down to eat. It was 1 o'clock, and Mama brought in the big bowl of spaghetti with the meatballs and the sausage on top. Your community style. You get in fast, and you get out fast. You get a fork in the back of your hand. Then we had the artichokes. You ever eat artichokes when your teeth don't meet? I hate artichokes. Then we had the chicken with the lemon juice. You go to the cutlets, una bella insalata, a nice salad. Then we had the eggplants in the sauce. Nice little demi-tasse. Lo vino con the pasta with the peaches in there. Wine with the peaches, eh? And then we ended up, we had castagna, the chestnuts. You know, oh, it's beautiful now. Got through eating around 6:30 that night. Just in time for supper. Now my girl's got to go to the toilet. Now the toilets used to be in the hall in Brooklyn. But the city passed an ordinance, the toilets in the hall are unsanitary. So they moved them out of the hall, and where they put them? In the kitchen, of course. Right next to Evelina, next to the table. Right? Now when women go to the bathroom, what do? They turn on the water from the sink, am I right? My girl doesn't turn on the water from the sink. She turns on the shower, too. While she's in there, I said to my mother, Mom, how do you like her? Mom says she's nice, but she pees like a horse.